the question of the week. I'm like trying to figure out exactly which way we went with this.
So it's the same as the beginning. So it's as like, are fighting games too hard, or are they just too user unfriendly? Was kind of what we went with.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, who do you, Quintessence? You want to start us off? What's your opinion? What's your hot take?
Well, so personally, I don't think fighting games are too hard.
For new players
as
well. Yeah, that's kind of the argument.
Yeah, no, I mean for new players, the issue really comes in it's one of those genres where you really have to like commit. Like, I don't think it's actually like hard, right? But it's more of a time sink than people actually think it will be. And I think that leads to some people maybe feeling like alienated when like, oh, this game's just like too hard. And then you're like, oh well, you just need to actually put time in. You're like, oh, but I have put time in. When I've put time in is like, oh, I played for like an hour. So
I would definitely say the skill floor mechanics, there's more to learn than just a shooter, where it's like we point, we shoot, we find the best position to shoot from, and then it kind of iterates from there. I think to even achieve like a baseline level, like you need to know defense, you need to know anti-airing, you need to know offense, you need to be able to link together a combo.
But there's more to it than that, because okay, so 90% of fighting games when you're learning is just losing. You're just getting your shit kicked in. You're trying to figure out what buttons do what works, what doesn't work. And it doesn't get much better, to be brutally honest.
Because like,
people that have like, so if it's like a legacy game, right? Like Tekken has a lot of legacy skill involved. So like, even though like we're moving into Tekken 8 or some shit, right?
God knows.
It's still going to be very close, most likely, to Tekken 7, and skills going to carry over.
I'm calling it right now. Auto combos.
In Tekken 8, oh god, I freaking hope not. I'm going to lose my mind if there's auto combos.
GP Bear, you think auto combos? Yeah,
I mean, exactly, GP Bear. You don't need to win to improve.
Yeah. Well, so I mean, let's kind of break it down here, because I think there are two sides to both of these things. Like, I mean, yes, fighting games are one of the few genres where it's a 1v1, and on any given match, you could face someone that is so much better than you, it's not even funny. You know what I mean? I think the skill ceiling in fighting games is much higher than a lot of games, and it's kind of like the classic, like an average NBA player. Like,
how do we get to NBA players?
No, because there's
fine. I'm following you.
There's a great analogy here that it's like, yeah, you might shit on an average NBA player, but they are infinitely closer to LeBron than you ever will be. Like, they are LeBron to you. Like, that's how high up the tree goes. You know what I mean?
You say that, but I can go ahead and play LeBron James right now in Multiverses. So I mean, there's your loophole in that situation.
James, they're different story. You're dunking on people.
Yeah, but why do you have to go to the top?
Well, I'm just saying that, like, it's one of those things where, like, I think fighting games have a much higher skill ceiling than a lot of other games, so there's more to learn. And I think one of the things a lot of fighting games do to try to alleviate that is auto combos. Now, do auto combos make you a good player? No, we've seen that time and time again. Auto combos are just an entry floor, making it easier to do a combo. You don't have to learn timing. That's essentially what auto combos take away. It's basically an even dumber version of a target combo, because a target combo is almost the exact same thing as an auto combo.
Right, the target.
Sometimes you just have to learn a little bit of timing, whereas auto combos, it doesn't matter how fast you mash; it's just going to be automatic. But yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised a lot of these basic tools are coming out into new fighting games, as ways to just get people who are noobs like into the game. Like everyone wants to feel that they're doing something cool. Now, yeah, I mean, if you like the game, maybe you'll stick around and try to learn the deeper mechanics of the game, which is what I think they're trying to do in Street Fighter. Like they're saying, yeah, anyone can use the like stylish mode or what easy combo mode, but you're not going to have access to any of your good options. And at high level play, it's going to be the dumb thing to do because you're not going to be a good player if you don't know how to use your greater tools. So I think a lot of these things are just ways to get people in the door. Now, are there better ways? Maybe, but I mean, I don't know. I think fighting games have been trending to simplify mechanical, like, you know, complication for a while, or execution complication for a while, because a lot of people realize that like execution isn't always the most exciting part of fighting games. A lot more of it's like the
That's pretty damn good though.
Or the, you know, the player versus player stuff, or the conditioning, or you know, there's so many different arenas to fighting games. It like one of the reasons why we wanted to talk about this was even the Project L developer was saying that, in that they're trying to develop the most easily accessible fighting game of all time, and they're like, yeah, we have to come up with a way to at least get noobs in the door to understand why fighting games are about before they just get their shit pushed in.
But believe it or not, I think auto combos are a great idea. And I can see how it would help someone because, well, first of all, you need something. You need, you know, because, like, you know, sometimes you want to get in and you just want to mash some buttons, and auto combos
you want to have fun.
Help do that. And obviously, you know, the thing that I like about auto combos is that what they do is they'll teach you combo, but then they also show you, like, hey, if you want to do actual more damage, you can learn this combo, and you'll do, like, I don't know, 25% more. I think that's that's kind of a great idea. At least in KOF.
They make auto combos non-optimal. Like, one could 100% make the argument, and I probably believe you, that DBZ fighters would not have been as successfly if it didn't have auto combos. Straight up, it wouldn't have been as bought by as many people.
What is it, Dragon Rush?
Yeah,
or like the fly forward thing. Strong players will always be strong. It's true. It doesn't really matter. Like, I think that's what Street Fighter realized, is that it's not going to matter how, like, easy your game is.
Or execution.
The execution doesn't matter how easy or your execution is. There's always going to be, like, a huge gap between newer players and lesser players. Like,
because fighting games aren't just execution. So yeah.
Well, I mean, it's like, you know, I was just playing KOF 98 for fun with Quintessence, and Juicebox raided me, right? Juicebox Abel. And he's like, yo, it's going to take you years to get good. And then it's like, oh, all right. But, I mean, also, thanks, man. We were playing for fun, but...
Yeah, I'm like, thanks, man, but I'm already having fun, so...
But my main point is that, realistically, you have to look at it like a year, like, putting in the hours, you know, the years... To get better at fighting games, you know. Yeah. You could no-life it, though, and, like, you know, take a fast track, but still.
So, I mean, I guess I'm going to throw this back to Quintessence, because this kind of ties into his main point, and my main point is that, like, yes, losing is a part of it, but, I mean, wouldn't you agree that the bare bones experience for a lot of fighting games is, like, it throws you in the deep end and just hopes you swim, and sometimes you do and sometimes you don't, but it doesn't teach you how to swim. Like, fighting games are extremely bare bones on teaching you how to play the game better. I think they're starting to get better with, like, trials and stuff like that. But one of the big talking things on the web this week was like, okay, so how can we make how can we not be a Warframe? How can we make the new player experience, or not be a Path of Exile? No offense to Quintessence. How can we not make the new player experience
none taken?
And I think a lot of really good points were brought up in that, like, there needs to be better teaching tools in fighting games. Like, you need to be teaching people how to do combos. A trial mode is not it, because a trial mode doesn't teach you the rhythm of the combo. It just shows you which buttons to press. Someone made, like, a really cool mod on Zerd that was going around the Twitter sphere this week, of someone who made the combo trials in Zerd a rhythm game. Where, like, just like DDR, like, the pattern would drop from the top, And not only would you learn the buttons of the combo, but you learn the actual rhythm you need to hit it in to execute it. And it's like, yeah, why isn't that a thing? Like, combos are more than just hitting the buttons. You have to know the timing. So why isn't there something to teach you the timings? Why are you just supposed to like figure out or intuit how the input delay in the game works? Why isn't there going to be something that teaches you how it works? You know what I mean? Fighting game teaching tools are terrible. Like someone was saying, like, what's the number one thing that future fighting games should have? And this is more for mid-level players than high-level players, but Plus R has maybe the best feature to come out in fighting games in forever. In that, when you're fighting someone, you lose to some shit you've never seen before. They have a replay drop-in feature.
Do you mean
where you can
Strive?
just no Plus R.
Like
Plus R has
the
it. Try
rollback
that
Plus R on Steam?
Yeah, rollback Plus R has it on Steam.
Okay, all right, my bad. I don't. I think I was playing it in beta, so.
Yeah, it has a replay capture feature where not only can you see your replay, but you can drop in your replay into training mode, and your replay will be recorded, so you can just like go against whatever just beat you and try to figure out how to lab it. That's the best feature I've ever heard of.
I believe Strive has something similar.
I think Strive is just a little different in that it doesn't let you just drop in. It just records the replay and it might give you the buttons, but I don't think it lets you just drop into the moment that you got owned. Could be wrong about that.
That's fine.
It did.
Could be wrong about that. I haven't labbed enough Strive, but
anyway,
I mean, literally, like, yeah, Plus R's take control feature, like that should be a staple in every new fighting game. Like, you should be able to lab against things that beat you. And I mean, I don't know. Modern FGs have a long way to go in terms of teaching people how to play the game.
So, okay, so for me, I think there's a couple of things. One, I feel like not enough people know how to actually use training mode. And because it can be very intimidating at first.
A lot of people don't know how to use training mode. Like, unless you're going to search training mode, you know.
Like I think there should be a training mode tutorial. I do.
100%.
I think there should be a training mode tutorial.
Yeah, probably.
I think people need to stop teaching as many combos and start teaching more neutral. Because realistically, people think fighting games are about combos, but they're about neutral. They're about, like, stopping a combo at a certain point so you can get a setup to something else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If you can't start your combos, and all the pretty combos you learned aren't going to matter. Not going to mean jack.
I mean, it's fun though. I mean, hell, I still like doing like geese combos, even though like I don't know, like scuffed that neutral. I don't, you know, but still. Anyway, yeah, I think basically for me, I think neutral is really important. People learning how to do pokes, and you know, yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, where's the fighting game mode that's going to teach you how to play fighting games? I think that's the feature players are looking for. Like, if we want fighting games to blow up, if we want fighting games to be as big and successful as we all want them to be,
if they're going to blow up, now's the time. Really.
Well, but now like that's what I'm saying. Like, we need to make as a community, we need to make the new player experience better.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of the best ways to do that, just how we put pressure on them to put rollback, is we need to put pressure on them to build a better new player experience. Because you're going to start seeing fighting games that check off all the boxes. They have crossplay, they have rollback, they still end up DOA. And we're going to start asking why when we're like, well, all these features that us fighting game players have wanted for a while, we have. Why aren't new players coming in? It's been new players coming in is because they go into verse mode, get beat on, and have no way to learn how to get better, or like no understanding of how or where to go to learn to get better, and they bounce off the game.
Tell me about it, man.
We need to start fixing. Yeah.
So I went in and I played Quintessence I want to say like almost 30 matches, and you know, I still got. I was trying a new character. I still got key charged at the end. I mean, you know, I know how it is, man.
Not everyone has the mental fortitude to like lose in a first to 50 or a first to 100.
Mentally untouchable.
Just roll with it. Yeah. Not everyone's mentally untouchable.
What were you saying, Quintessence?
Well, okay, so I personally feel like auto combos don't actually help the new player experience. And the reason why is because a lot of times they end up using that as a crutch instead of actually learning more about the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you see that a lot in Dragon Ball Fighters. You see that a lot in Melty Blood. You see it in Unist.
But
Like,
who's to say?
players
Yeah.
don't actually try to improve.
Yeah.
Like, they don't try as hard to improve. They're like, oh, it's fine. I can just always fall back on an auto combo. I don't have to learn X.
But I mean, who's to
right?
say they would even go that far, you know, or would want
That-
to go that far? I would
That's
rather
asking
someone
a lot.
Yeah, I would rather someone be
Well-
playing the game. I would rather there more people be playing in the verse mode pool so it's not dead. And just having them be some auto combo scrubs than just have it be nobody there. And yeah, maybe there's a limit to that. Like, do I want everyone to be a scrub? No, of course not. But I mean, like, I think that's the whole point of, like, you got to give something. Like, again, you got to give the new something to latch onto. You got to give them a fun factor to latch onto. Like,
Welcome
if they're
to the
just
Scrubcast.
if they're
But-
just dropping in and getting their ass beat, then they're gonna bounce off the game, and that just kills the game faster.
But another huge factor for people bouncing
Tommy,
off
what's up,
of
man?
games is fighting games are a huge commitment of time, of money. Fighting games have like some of the most egregious DLC. Like, we
I need those
to
gems.
like ask for better from developers.
Need those gems
I
system.
agree, but like in the age of microtransactions, I honestly don't even think they have as bad DLC as they can get. Yeah, it should be better. It's
But
not like
fighting
it's
games
not like
have
an
always
RPG.
been bad.
But
We're
like,
finally at a stage where we don't have to buy a whole ass new game
but bro, once we're in that full free to play era, like
or
all
three
bets,
new games.
all bets are off. Like, they're gonna be selling like $40 legendary skins on multiverses. You know what I mean? Like, granted,
fine.
it's optional.
Who
You don't
gives
have
a
to buy
shit?
it.
I don't think
Or
that's.
skin.
There's no way that's gonna happen.
Cosmetic.
There are already $20 skins in
What?
multiverse.
What I'm
fuck outta
talking
here.
about is literally
No,
you
they're-
have
I think the
characters
Superman
gated
skin is
behind
$20.
money.
Yeah.
Characters are gated behind money. Core pieces of the game are gated behind money. You can't like lab against the character because
That's
they're gated
whack.
behind money.
Yeah.
You can't test the character, see if you like it because it's gated behind money.
Yep.
They need at least to have some kind of like, oh, when you're in practice mode, everything's unlocked. That
I
could
100
at least alleviate that a little bit so that
I-
people can
Yep.
actually like
I
not
100%,
always have to throw a bunch of money at a game.
I 100% agree with that. Because again, like, how will you even know if you like the character if you haven't tried it yet? You know what I mean? To spend
Exactly.
money on it. So 100% agree with that.
Exactly.
That's one of the things I will argue Multiverses is doing right. Is in practice mode, everybody's free. Everybody's unlocked. You have to unlock characters normally if you don't
Oh,
play them
that's pretty
against
cool.
people. But in Multiverses, if you go into training mode, everybody's unlocked.
That's good.
So that is one of the things I will say Multiverses is doing right, and I hope more games follow suit. I'm surprised a lot of fighting games in the earlier free to play era never tried the like the League of Legends or the Smite model, where like characters were
Oh.
just on rotation, free for you to try, and if you liked them, you could buy them. If you didn't, you know what I mean. I'm really surprised that never really caught on, because that seems like a totally valid way to do it too. Where like you just have like it keeps you playing because you want to wait for the rotation to test the character you like. But who knows if that'll ever become a thing now.
But I just feel like fighting games are too much of a commitment.
One sec, guys.
They're asking too much of people right now. Like,
So yeah, I agree. Like
I
you're
still
not
think
getting
they're
enough.
hard,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't think they're actually hard, right? You don't have to win to play the game. You don't
Yeah.
have to play to win. You can just play the game.
But I mean, I guess I totally agree. But
And then
like,
you'll learn as you play. If you enjoy the game,
Yeah.
then you won't mind losing.
But a lot of people
That's how I see it. Like, I
So-
love Tekken. I get my
Yeah.
shit kicked in daily.
Tell me
When I
about
was
it.
learning Tekken, I started in Tekken 7 for like actually learning Tekken.
Mhm.
Yes.
And like, I just got my shit kicked in day after day after day after day, but I kept coming back because I enjoyed the game and I wanted to learn more.
You know,
I agree.
and I'll say it for the
But we
millionth
need more
time.
players. Yeah.
I'll say it for the millionth time. I still think it's wild that people say that Tekken's online is bad, because for the most
played
part,
much worse.
I have a pretty good
Everyone's
time
played worse.
playing
Everyone's played worse.
playing Tekken.
Street Fighter 5 was worse when it started.
I think Tekken's online
sucks.
is serviceable. It's not fantastic. It's maybe good. It's on the border. It's not bad though. It's not horrible.
Mhm.
Like if you want horrible netcode, you need to go
play
play some
JoJo's.
Undernight or JoJo's or
Virtua Fighter
freaking
5. That's actually not
Smash Brawl,
terrible for delayed base.
Smash Ultimate, just Smash games online.
Just
that
go
aren't
play the
slippy.
Switch. Just go play anything on the
just
Switch.
Go play the Switch. Actually, Monster Hunter plays really well online on the Switch.
I just love how all these games that are
neither
getting
here nor there.
I love how all these games that are getting rollback aren't getting rollback on the Switch because the Switch just literally can't handle it. It can't handle running the.
Or they're just not on the Switch.
Or any
the majority
current
of
games.
them aren't on the Switch.
Well, no, because so when you run rollback, you have to start running like parallel game threads, and I don't like that. So they're basically upping the minimum PC requirements on all the games that are in rollback. It's one of the things a lot of them didn't tell you.
And the Switch say that, but it had MK11, and MK11 has rollback.
Yeah, but it ran terribly on the Switch still. So
everything runs terribly on the Switch.
It's a Switch.
That's just the Switch.
Yo, guys. So any closing thoughts you wanna throw in here before we move on to the Prey review? Because we're getting passionate about this. Well, we've been passionate.
We're heated.
Yeah. All I'm saying is that in my final closing thoughts, we need to put pressure on developers to add tools to teach people how to play fighting games, because not everyone learns how to learn fighting games. Not everyone has the patience to go to an external resource, which is what you have to do a lot of times. Mm-hmm. Or not everyone has the community to help teach them fighting games. So games have to start having that. And until we put pressure on them, we're going to see a lot more dead games that have good features, just don't have a good onboarding experience.
Yeah, man. I do think that it is, I don't think at the same time I don't think fighting games are for everyone, and I do think that definitely people that are gonna want to play it are gonna want to play it. It's like shooters, man. It's like I can't imagine. I feel like we're in the same boat in terms of like accessibility. Anyway,
well, I'm gonna piggyback off of your statement.
Oh shit.
And I don't. Okay, so you say fighting games aren't for everyone, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe there's any game that's for everyone, right?
Fair enough.
Like, name a game that everyone enjoys.
Mario Kart.
Can't.
Yeah,
no,
a lot of people like Mario Kart.
That's literally just wrong.
Most people like Mario Kart.
Yo, GoldenEye. Mario Party.
Kirby.
Except I don't really like Mario Party, so it's a lie.
Kirby's Air Ride.
Kirby's Air Ride. That game's kind of fun.
And no.
That game's a gem, man.
But you have you understand, right? Like different people like different kinds of games. That's just core to like our nature. Like, oh, this guy just fucking loves Kirby, right? But
fucking loves Kirby.
He hates Mario, and then you think, oh, everyone loves Mario. No, everyone doesn't love Mario. Because not everyone enjoys, like, the platforming.
Yo.
It's just too specific. You can't appease everyone.
It's true.
All right?
Yeah.
Like,
but we need to teach people to appreciate these games. Otherwise, our communities will dry up like they've been drying up. And again, I think
that's the FGC is not drying up. The FGC is
they're eating good.
Every year.
They're eating good.
The FGC is actually in a golden era.
Yes.
With regards to like
gaming.
Viewership, players counts.
But games are still falling off, and it doesn't need to happen anymore. In the age of the internet, where everything is safe forever, games don't need to die. But we need to wait.
Games aren't falling off.
There's a lot of games that are falling off.
DNF Duel has been kind of getting some publicity from people because their player base is falling off. But I don't think anyone's surprised by that.
But that's not like games that as like a whole, right? And then there's like, did you know the largest game market right now is the mobile game market?
No. I know that's not real. I don't play mobile games.
It's games until it's mobile. Okay, all right.
I am
argument.
I don't. Man, I think
He
Okay,
doesn't
so
condone that.
let me tell
you
you.
can't say games are failing when mobile gaming is like billion-dollar industry.
Do you
Like,
want to
I'm
know?
saying,
can't.
yeah.
Do you want to know why I hate mobile gaming? And it's
Sure,
such a
hit me.
stupid, petty reason, but
I'm here for it.
it's because multiple companies that I used to love as a kid, like Konami, right? You got
Okay.
Konami.
I see where you're going.
You
with
got
this.
you
Yeah.
got other companies that used to make these fantastic video games. They're like, well, console games are really expensive to make, which they are, unfortunately. But we could just make a mobile department and then focus on that. And so instead of making newer games for consoles that I'm going to play, they moved over to making mobile games, and now we're not going to get, I don't know, I want to say a new Castlevania, but or new Contra, whatever. It doesn't matter. Anyway, I have a bone to pick. I'm still salty about this. Okay.
All I'm saying is, if you went
That's
back,
happened with me too. So
all I'm-
like,
yeah,
I love Command and Conquer, right? Command and Conquer Mobile, that was a thing. And that basically shot Command and Conquer right in the fucking foot for getting any more games.
this is
I
all
feel bad.
this is all I'll say about mobile games. If you went back to like 1993, 1994,
Mhm.
like just popped out of a time machine, walked up to someone who's playing a Super Nintendo, and showed them your phone and said, "This is the pinnacle of gaming in 2022," they would just slap that shit out of your hand. That's all I'm saying.
I think the opposite would happen. I think they'd be like, "Holy
What?
shit,
They'd be
you've
like,
got
"Holy- yeah,
you've got a
I
computer
can
in your
take
hand."
this anywhere?"
And they're like, 30 years later, this is what you're playing for games. They'd be disappointed. I'd be disappointed.
Well, they would realize that we're playing essentially the same games,
Yeah, and that's lame. It's been like 30 years.
bro.
Whereas if you showed them anything else, like anything on the PS4, anything on the PC, anything on the Xbox S, it'd blow their mind.
What's the new?
I don't think you're giving mobile games enough credit. Some of them actually look really good.
All right. Yeah, we're getting off topic here.
Anyway, so hey.